come live.
We always do,
Again.
right?
See?
Oh, that was perfect timing. Again.
Oh my goodness.
I
We
know.
do not do that on purpose, just so you know that we're laughing because we are always,
Not
man,
canned.
it's like she hits live and then we're cracking
start
jokes
laughing.
and boom, here we
Yep,
are,
there we are,
laughing
live.
again. You must think that's all we do.
That's pretty accurate.
Well,
say that's
yeah,
pretty
we get a
close.
lot of flipping work done too.
Well, we've been sitting here for how many hours?
Couple hours, but we had a really, really good conversation.
We did have a very good conversation.
It lasted a little bit longer, and that's going to be honestly the surprise for tomorrow because we're going to have a guest tomorrow, and might as well let's just talk about the elephant in the room, right? With everything that's going on and with the world is where it's at right now, both Kim and I were feeling compelled that, we have this platform and we both know that we have to address somehow, some way. And so we're going to have a guest on tomorrow and we're going to address it. And, it's going to be good. And it's coming from a place of total love, compassion, and empathy.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to leave it at that. So, anyways, this week we said we were going to talk about business, right? So, Kim, why don't you go ahead and introduce the topic?
I know. Here we are. So, June 1st, 2020. What? June 1st?
Year's half over.
I know. It's well, I wouldn't say it's half over. It's really just beginning, right? This.
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday was January.
Like that, doesn't it?
Okay. So, yes, we are intro to business this week. So we're going to be talking about people and innovation and adapting and processes and how important they are, ? And then at the end of the week, we're going to wrap it all up in a nice little blanket, and we'll get to that when we get to that.
Oh, you're good. I was waiting for you to say it, and then you're like,
nope.
Take
So
that one away.
Business always starts with the obvious, right? But I think it's overlooked a lot is the people.
Yeah, the people are the pillars of your business, really. And I think a lot of businesses, I've had a lot of jobs, and I'm not afraid to admit that. Part of that was on purpose because I knew what my end goal was ultimately in my life. So I wanted to make sure I had a wide range of experience. So I've worked for some pretty decent businesses and I've worked for some really shitty businesses. So I got to see both ends of the spectrum. And people, unfortunately, in most businesses, good or bad, the people always, for some reason, seem to get left out to the point where they should be.
That is
They're
true.
Unfortunately not the focus, but yet they're the ones, they're the business.
We wouldn't have business without the people. It's true. There would be no business. And if it weren't for other things, dreams, working with others, beating your heads against the wall, throwing ideas out, there wouldn't be business. And that goes for anything from something as small as at least what people want to think is small as car repairs. Yeah, we don't think that that's always important until we need it, right? We don't always take care of the people that are helping us out, as far as big as corporations or nonprofits. In my world, the nonprofit world, for a long time, it was, oh, you run a nonprofit? That's so nice. We just don't have any money to give to you right now. Okay. So I went on a gigantic soapbox and talked from my heart. And that was really the only way that I could do it, and realizing the hard way that a nonprofit is very much like a corporation. You still have the same expenses in a certain sense, and you're still dealing with people and processes. And if even more so of covering your own tail.
Speaking
Because-
of covering your own tail,
Yeah.
not interrupt you.
No, please.
I think that's the perfect segue to throw out a little bit of a disclaimer that I
Okay.
feel the need to throw
Okay,
out.
yes, I think it's appropriate that you do
So here's the disclaimer for this week. If you are offended by what's coming out of our mouth and how we're saying something, or you're offended because of the information that you're receiving, or you feel anxiety or getting worked up a little bit because of what's being said and you don't agree with it at all because that's not how you run a business, this disclaimer is going to be thrown out there, because if that's what's getting ramped up inside of you, it's probably talking to you. You probably should look in the mirror. You probably should put your ego away, because that means your ego's coming on pretty strong. I know I'm being strong here, but I'm talking to business owners, so you should be strong, period. And you should be open to hear what we're going to say this week. And, you know, both of us are coming as business owners, and we're also coming as past employees of multiple businesses. So we were in the trenches. We know, we heard, we saw, we experienced. And, you know, there is a certain point where I think sometimes business owners, because they are in a position to have the capital to take the risk, they put themselves out there as the smartest person in the room, which makes you the biggest idiot in the room, because your people are probably the smarter ones, and they're full of a lot of really good ideas. And you need to hear them, because that is the heartbeat of your business. That is the growth of your business. That is how you're going to innovate in the business. Because when you're in it a long time, even a short time, but you're in it at the level I know we are right now, it's really hard sometimes to see outside of that circle. And that's where you make stupid mistakes. Yeah, that's my disclaimer. I just felt the need to say it. I probably was a little harsh, but it's about being real and authentic, right?
And that was good. Very good. And another great, we're just good at segueing without even planning to do this. So here are our notes for today. Those are our notes for today. But we're talking about people and being the smartest one in the room. And, you know, a lot of us come to the market with innovation. We come in wanting to create something that maybe somebody else has not created yet, or maybe they have, and you think you can do it better. And of course, if you are even the smartest person in the room, you know better that you are not, and that you need to find a different room if you think you are. But when you start growing something, you want to hire those people alongside of you, right? You always want somebody stronger than you, smarter than you. But what's really interesting is that when people go to do those things, like build a board or hire a secretary, they tend to go for people that they have to kind of bring along or really explain things to, because maybe they're really hard workers, but you think maybe they don't have a lot to bring to the table intellectually. Right. And then you start running into roadblocks where maybe you're doing all the work, or maybe you're busy blaming people for not getting the things done that you wanted to get done. So why don't you try this little trick? Maybe find somebody else that has been either in your position or has been an assistant to the position that you are in, and bring them on board, especially if they've been very successful in what they have done. Because they're going to see holes in your plan, and that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, I think you want somebody that's going to call you out on your bullshit. Is that pretty much what you're saying?
I think that's kind of what we do.
You're
right?
holding back a little.
Well,
Don't
am
hold
I?
back.
I'm sorry. I
Would
don't
you
mean
just be
to.
real,
I didn't.
please?
I
Just be
am. I'm a
authentic.
real girl.
Come on. I know what you really want to say. Just say it.
What do I really want to say? No, that's not going to work. I can't pull the string on your back. Oh.
No.
I guess what I'm saying is that when you have somebody that's on your team or on your board or in the same room as you are, and they're trying like hell to give you information that maybe you think is above you or maybe not good enough or below you or sideways of you or whatever, but if they're coming in with a different idea, it's probably because they see something a little bit different. And maybe if you took the time to find out who they are, where they've been, and how they've come to this position, you would give them an opportunity to be a part of the team. Not just somebody that you hired because, I don't know, you had the feels that day. But like I've talked about in the past, feelings are fickle and they will change. So make sure that you're really finding the people that you know you don't have the strength to do. So, example, coming on as an executive director for a nonprofit. I had no idea what I was doing. I had an idea. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to help. But I had no idea what the processes were. I had no idea how to fundraise, none of those things. So I started sharing and getting brave with sharing my story because I knew that above everything else, nobody could take that away from me. And I'm not going to share my story right now with you. But what I started doing was finding the people that I knew were much better in certain areas than I was to help me out in different ways. And it absolutely took my business nonprofit to a whole nother level that there's no way I could have done by myself. And that really is putting ego, your own ego, out of the way, putting that thing that we like to wear as being strong. Sometimes people, it can be pride. Pride lets us get in the way of ourselves. It lets us get in the way of asking for assistance or finding that other person that's better at what we're doing. You need to find the right people and not have what your own opinions or your own views on who they might be or prejudging who they are. You need to get the right people that are better at you, that are smarter than you, that have been in that position before, because I know one thing is that success leaves clues, and those are the people that you want with you.
Got to lead with empathy.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, I mean, that's to sum it up what you were just saying. It's leading with empathy. We have to have empathetic leaders and empathetic leadership. I mean, look at the shitstorm we're in right now. Part of that is because of that whole thing. You got to listen to your people. I mean, you got to listen. And I think the problem with this world so much right now is people listen so that they can frickin' respond with their so-called intelligent conversation that they want to have. That's not what it's about. You got to listen to people. There's a reason we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, is because we're supposed to listen twice as much as we speak. That's a Jim Rohn, by the way. And there's a lot of truth to that. You know, we have these pearly gates to keep our tongue behind us for a reason. That's what God gave us. So, you know, sometimes you just need to shut the hell up, listen to your people, really listen to what they're saying. And, you know, they have the good ideas. They have the right ideas. They're listening to everybody. If you're in the customer business, they are listening to your customers more than you are. Yeah. Trust me on that. And the customers are telling them exactly how the business should be run, exactly how things should be done. Oh, my God. I could go on and on and on and on and on, but I'm not going to. But people are very important in your business. They are the blood, they are the sweat, they are the tears, they are the heartbeat. And how dare we as business owners disregard that or not look at that at the level of which it should be looked at, and, you know, take care of the people the way they should be taken care of. Not just say or preach it, you got to live it. I mean, people know you're fake within 2 minutes. So you're going to say it, better live it.
Yeah. It's usually the loudest person in the room that is the least confident in what they're doing. And if you really sit back, take the emotion out of it, which is everybody has it, right? We have those triggers. We have things that people say to us. Where we want to defend ourselves. We naturally want to say, that's not who I am. And usually when that happens, it is who you are. And you're trying to defend it for whatever reason. You know, stop. Just stop and listen. And don't respond to things with emotion. And that's a hard pill to swallow, but it's so powerful when you can just stop and listen to the people that are working with you, listen to their ideas. There are no bad ideas. You're going to see your business, or wherever you are, even if you're in customer service, which all of us really are, everywhere we go, everybody we talk to, it doesn't mean that you can't be real with people. Don't be fake with people. But if you tell them that you're doing well, do well, don't lie. And if you ask them how they're doing, don't just glaze off into the sunset, not really listening. Oh, okay, great. Well, I gotta go. Don't do that, because it could be that person that really, really, truly for their life needed somebody to talk to. It's important that you give them your time.
Yeah, be very, very cautious of perception and judgment, because that will be the root cause of most problems in your business.
Yeah, and if you're having a hard time with people and how they show up to work, there are different exercises that you can do for them, as long as you're all on the same page and you have that open communication. And I don't mean I have an open door policy, anybody can come in and talk to me. That's a bunch of
bullshit statement.
Yeah, that ain't happening. You need to have a real serious sit down, totally transparent, empathetic conversation about who you are, how you come to the table. And it's okay to show up for work not feeling great all the time. But we have to understand how we show up. And, when we're showing up happy and we're energized and we didn't hit the train on the way and we didn't hit snooze and we got to work on time, we're going to have a great day. We're going to show up in a good mood. The morning's going great. But it takes one thing to throw all of that off the tracks. And then you show up a different person, maybe somebody that people aren't used to seeing, right? And how does the rest of your day go from there? Because people are only reacting to your attitude. So you've got to know your people, and you have to be able to slow down and say, how do you show up today? Not how are you doing? Like, how do you show up today? It's okay for you to say, I am frustrated. I feel terrible because I was late to work. I feel shamed. I'm embarrassed. We act out a lot of times because we know that we have a higher standard and we don't show up that way sometimes. And really the frustration is internal, and we end up throwing it on to somebody else. Like, we're expecting them to understand who we are in that moment. And that's where you get the animosity. That's where you get the slamming doors. That's where you get people that shut down, or the opposite. They act out, and they act out irrationally because they're looking for attention and they don't know how to ask for it.
And as leaders, you got to be aware of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's your job, honestly, to
You
steer and carry those people when they show up like that. And when you're the leader and you are struggling how to show up to work, well, that's where you got to have somebody on the outside. And friends are good, but friends are not always going to call you out on your crap. You need almost like an accountability partner of some sort, some level of that can hold you accountable and help you. Because if you're, let's face it, when we're at a leadership role, we already have a certain level of, I don't even know the word.
Did you just have a
brain fart? Yeah.
Now we're farting on camera.
There's a certain level you operate at that's different than other levels. Otherwise, you wouldn't have that leadership role. So there's a certain level of self-awareness that you should already have. So if you know that you're in a spot, then you should definitely be doing things to learn and educate yourself, to make sure that when you get to that point of self-awareness, you know how to snap into a different state so that you can be the leader that you need for your people. Because ultimately, your people are going to be, they always say, people are the reflection of leadership. And that's true to a certain point, but I don't think that's the whole truth on that. Mm-hmm. That's probably for another day.
I think we should bring that to another day. I just do.
But you understand what I'm saying.
I totally understand what you're saying. And from the reactions we're getting, I think people are understanding what we're saying. We gotta stop and read. I think we should tackle Ray's comment tomorrow.
Nothing like saying, "Hey Ray, we're going to attack you."
Oh no, we are, but it's going to be tomorrow because we're going through adaptation, we're going through innovation, we're going through processes. All of those things are going to be throughout the week. Well, we're going to stay really true to the topic at hand right now. Tomorrow, boy, adaptation. Did you plan that?
No,
That
I
was
didn't.
good.
But I'll tell you what, Ray, I would love for you to reach out to us, either a messenger or in private via our email address.
Yeah.
But I would really like to know why. There's more to that story, and I'd like to know it.
Yeah. And we are safe. Are you, Ray? We're really hoping that you are. And hi, John, for saying. Not very many people call me Kimmy on here, so I don't know.
I didn't know we could.
I know. You can't. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. The people. Anyway, so we're really excited this week to be able to come to you and just keep talking about business and different things. Of course, we have a special guest coming on tomorrow. And keep loading those comments, the comment section with questions. Please remember to share what we're sharing. It's really important. We know that people are looking for positivity. They're looking for meat on the bone. They're looking for a no bullshit approach to everyday life. And that's what we are giving. And we'll continue to do this every single day. And we'll keep bringing you good information.
Well, the reason why we coach is to bring the best out of people. The reason why we chose businesses this week is to bring the best out of businesses.
Yeah. And Ray, I appreciate you posting that. I mean, he's keeping it real.
Yes.
He's keeping it real. And I'm not going to dispute that with you because I think we've all been there. But there's usually a lot of layers to that. And there are definitely different ways of working through what we think of somebody in that instance, no matter what. So we can turn this around for you. We do have different ways and different approaches for you. And we'll have to just take that piece offline. And we will revisit it live at a different time. We'll revisit that. And he's really fast at messaging.
Yeah. I'm still trying to find the word "to" at this point.
Okay.
I type really slow. I'm a pick and peck kind of guy.
Pick a peck.
Okay.
It's time to just cut it out.
Oh boy.
All right. So yeah, Ray, we're coming to you. We'll message you for sure. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. So you won't even have to worry about being on tomorrow. Of course, even if you miss it, we're still here. You just won't catch us live. So we'll be reaching out.
Absolutely.
As always, thank you so much for letting us come in and to help out. And hopefully you take something from this every time we're here, and we give a lot of gratitude to you. Be safe, be compassionate to people, stop and listen. And when you ask them how they're doing, mean it. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. Love you guys, and be ready for a great week.